Okay guys, Mr. O's video today is coming to you about intervals and interval notation. So we're going to look at what it means to be increasing, decreasing constant, as well as what does it mean to be positive or negative. So with the first part on number 13 here, I'd ask for what interval is increasing. Increasing simply means as you move from the left-hand side of the graph to the right-hand side of the graph has an upward direction. So in this particular case, what we have is the increasing interval starts all the way down at negative infinity, because that's all the way at the left, and keeps increasing until we hit this maximum point, local max, above x equals 0. So that would be our interval of increasing. Now it's not a part of this problem, but I want to go ahead and tell you that the interval of decreasing is when the graph moving from left to right moves in a downward direction. So in this particular case, the decreasing interval would be from 0 to infinity. So didn't need to know the last part, but I wanted to throw it in just for good measure. And then right here, when it says the interval in which it's positive, all we're looking at here is when is the graph above the x-axis. So the interval of positive starts at -2. Now, since -2 is the 0, it's not positive at 0 because 0 is neither positive nor negative. So it starts after -2, which is why we're using the parenthesis, and then it continues to be positive until we get to the +2 on the other side. So that would be the interval of positive. Next we've got this funny looking W function, which is like an absolute value of an absolute value, but you didn't want to know that. So it wants to know the interval of decreasing. So decreasing again is when we go from left to right. You see it moving downwards. So it's moving downwards at the very, very beginning. So it starts at negative infinity and continues to move downwards until -3. But notice it goes upwards for a while, it has that positive slope, and then it shifts to downwards again. So since we have an additional downward, we need to say union, that little U symbol we discussed the other day in class, and it starts again at an x value of 0 and continues downward until 3. So when we have a split interval or two or more intervals, we have to use that U feature. Now on 14, where they ask us when is it positive? Well, honestly, this one, the trick here is that it looks like it's positive all the time. Not quite. What we end up having is that it is positive everywhere except for these 2 points, because at those 2 points the value is 0. So the positive interval is from negative infinity to -3, union -3 to +3, and finally one more, union 3 to infinity. So that would be that particular interval, because the only place it's not positive is at -3 and 3, so we had to leave those out. Alright, so final example, they want to know when the interval is constant. Now constant just means there is no growth in a positive or negative fashion, or increasing or decreasing fashion, I guess I should say. So that means the line is horizontal. So the constant constant growth, starts at 0, because that's where the x value, that's what the x value is right here, and continues until 3. Now what's the negative? That's going to be everything below the x-axis. So it's below from negative infinity until negative 2. Goes above the x-axis for a little while and then dips back under the x-axis from 4 to positive infinity. Alright guys, hope this helps, and good luck in working on this in class.